Welcome back, everybody, to Markonomics 101 presents Hoot Loot, the place you come to be informed, be amused, but never be misled. God knows there are enough places to be misled, so you don't need another one. The reason you come here is because you get the unvarnished, straight, raw truth, and that's all there is to it. It's a precious commodity these days. Because this show is called Scamvesting, the Financial Epidemic. And the reason it's called that is because basically scamming and investing are almost the same thing right now. They've kind of decided to merge together. And you have, the Bitcoin scams and all that. You have the Forex trading scams. And, those are quote unquote investments. I'm investing in a scam. And that is exploding. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about some of those. And we're going to talk about my good buddy Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook again. So what I'd like you all to do is please subscribe right down here, and we will be back with the charts in just a minute. Welcome back. We have got a great show. Today is 7-Eleven, which is a very fortunate day, if you believe in those kinds of things, and well, I do. So we're going to start out with everybody's fantasy, Bitcoin, and you're going to see that Bitcoin has been kind of winding itself down, and pretty soon I suspect it will have much less value, if any. Bitcoin is a password. That's all it is. That's all it ever will be. And there's really nothing to it other than that. How people have fooled themselves into believing it's more than that is beyond me. But it's a password. That's all it is. All right? And if you lose it, sorry, you lost it. I call Bitcoin a canary in a coal mine because it is a very good way to measure speculative, crazy money, and we're a market full of crazy money right now. This is the weirdest market I've seen in my multiple decades. I'm as old as the hills, and I'll tell you, they didn't have anything like that since the hills came up. And dinosaurs were around and hunting me down. They could never catch me though. I'm too fast. So anyway, this is Tesla, and here's another one of my favorite guys, Elon Musk. Now, please forgive me while I read you a couple. Elon I've talked about before, and not only his thumbing his nose at the SEC and all the things that he says, like going to Mars that he's not going to do, and the moon that he's not going to do, and produce a number of cars, and he doesn't seem to realize he has competition at all because everything he does is so important, and lawyers leave, and financial people leave, and every executive leaves because they can't stand him. And I know why. Our fact checker got this. Elon has certain work rules that are fantastically good. Listen to a couple of these, and I'm sorry I have to read them. 20 things employees cannot do. Form a union, complain about working conditions, ask for employee discounts. Jargon and acronyms are not allowed. What the hell does that mean? Arrange big meetings, wear cologne or perfume. Elon insists that you do not wear cologne and perfume, probably because because of the medicinal, he wants to smell that. You can't use yellow safety markings. You can't shut down the assembly line for maintenance. Work 40-hour weeks. Must work 120 hours per week. Ask for a weekend off. You can't do any of that stuff. That is incredible. Let's see. You can't oh God. Refuse to sacrifice. Okay, I don't know what that means. I wonder if he has an altar to sacrifice people. Think inside the box. Oh, that's a great one. Company protocols and deal. Oh God, this is too funny. Record workplace injuries. In other words, if someone hurts themselves on the job, I see nothing, I hear nothing. That is a good old Elon for you. And then the last thing, you cannot question the great leader. Okay, so that's Tesla for you. That's working for Elon Musk. Okay, so and I also want to know how it is, and I've asked this question a bunch of times, and he refuses to answer this question. But how is it that NASA had a 60-year head start, and somehow he got the SpaceX, contract where he blows up rockets on the platform every week, and that somehow he got this contract when supposedly our own government was 50 years ahead of him. I don't know the answer to that question, but Elon does. Maybe he knows something. You think? I don't know. I'm just wondering, just speculating. All right, so let's go on to the regular stuff. This is a Dow. The Dow, I've been calling for a top to this thing, and I'm sorry, but this thing, it really looks like it's going to go higher. And um, I'm as flabbergasted by that as anybody. But I have to admit, when new information shows up, in this case, it's in a bullish flag. I mean, that's a damn good pattern for it to go higher. Why, I don't know, but I'm going to show you some Dow stocks that are going higher for reasons also that are just strange. The NASDAQ 100 has broken out. I did eat crow. I did ring the bell and say it was a top. I thought it was a top. I didn't see how these things could go to like a million times earnings, but they have. And it just crept up. It's gone a little bit at a time each day for a number of days. It has made a new top. I ate crow. Sorry. Yeah. Nobody put chocolate on it either. The S&P 500 still looks really good, chugging ahead. And, that's the thing. You can't buy hot, you can't buy low here on any of these things. So you can't make money here. So there's nothing to do. The only thing to do here is to be in cash, because the next opportunity will be when things go down. Not now, not wanting that last 1/5 or that one last 5% of the high. You'll lose that so fast, it won't be funny. Ask an expert, me. I've done it before. All right, so the Dow Jones Transportation Average is a weird one. This one is in a bull flag. It's come down, but it's acting kind of weak, and some of the transportation companies are acting a little weak. But this is nothing yet to say anything other than it's a flag, and it hasn't really broken down yet. Maybe we'll see on Monday. I don't know. It's like every day the market is stuck in molasses. It just kind of goes a little bit at a time, a little bit here, and it just drives you nuts. The U.S. dollar, here's another one. I don't know. If I only had like a crystal ball, I can't find one anywhere, but if I only had one, I could probably figure out where the dollar was going to go. But I'll ask the 8-ball instead, okay? Because I do have a magic 8-ball, and when I need to, something like this I don't understand. Okay, now magic 8-ball, why is the dollar going up? Because you're ugly and stupid? Thank you very much. Okay, it says that every time. I don't know what it is about that stupid thing. Anyway, the dollar going up is really ridiculous. And it's ridiculous not just because the 8-ball says I'm stupid and ugly. It's wrong. Because if I was a woman, everybody, I would be all over me. I mean, come on. Dumb 8-ball. But anyway, look, the U.S. dollar, when the Federal Reserve is printing them as fast as they can, they're still hot when you get one at the bank. They're still warm from being just printed. They're printing them and they're giving them away and stimulating the economy like crazy. How does this thing go up? How does the dollar go up in an environment like that? See, this is where psychology is important, okay? I think the dollar is ridiculous to go up, but so does everybody else. We have almost 100% unanimous opinion the dollar's too high. And that tends to be the kind of place where you're wrong. You're wrong when you're part of the consensus. And, the fundamentals say go down, the consensus say go down, but it's going up. And so, my only guess here is that people, sold it in anticipation and now are covering their shorts or something. I don't know. We'll have to see. But it really is actually looks like it's a rounded bottom pattern. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. We'll have to see. The CRB index continues to just move higher. Commodity prices are going higher. Nobody can deny that. Jay Powell can say inflation is running at our target of 2%. But, Jay Powell, I think, excludes a few things. He omits a few little facts, and kind of tough. But food prices are in a bull flag, and they've actually, a couple of food prices have come in a little bit, probably just consolidating because they've gone up so fast. But food prices are going up. There is no doubt about it. I know that when I order, there's always something missing, always something out of stock, always. Never was before, now there always is. The base metals are also still in an uptrend. They're looking really good. This is stuff, again, like nickel, tin, copper, and, metals that you don't think of having a great value. They're not precious. They're just to build things. And this thing continues to go up. And that's why the price of making everything goes up, because basically these things go into everything. This is like, that's why you can't find change. It's unbelievable. West Texas Intermediate, crude oil is unreal what's happening with it. I mean, this is the highest price it's been in 5 years, okay? West Texas Intermediate, and it continues to go up. And, what's amazing is that normally shale would come on stream and it would snuff it out. right away. It's not doing it now because shale oil is not as economic now that the dollar's weak and that it needs so much energy itself to operate. So, these things are feeding on themselves and starting to, we're seeing it at the gas pump and other places. Unleaded gasoline. Oh, yeah, California. There's a place where they just raised taxes on gas. So, here in California, it's like $6 a gallon now, or something like that, or something pretty close. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but this one continues to go up too. And when you think about it, energy is in everything. Everything has energy. Even Ace's dog food has some component of energy in it. I'll bet. It's in probably in a Beyond Burger too. If you looked at all the chemicals and understood what they meant, which I don't. Natural gas is just breaking out like crazy. I think this is anticipating the winter that's coming in the east, because natural gas is not something that we use as much here on the west coast, but on the east coast, heating oil, big thing. Okay, so now the copper miners, this is kind of different. They were in kind of a sharp flag, but they've broken out positively, and that starts to tell me that this little we were hearing a lot of like, oh, inflation's transitory, which means basically it's here for a minute. It's just going to be here just a few minutes and leave. Well, that's not really true, because once it filters its way through the price of everything, and there aren't more made of everything, it's permanent. Gasoline is permanently going to cost $6 because of inflation, probably permanently $7 at some point, or $8 at some point. Who knows? But the thing is, this is not transitory. That is like the biggest lie I've ever heard. And that's the Federal Reserve. They are stuck. Speaking of, I would almost call it a scam, because they lied to you, and they lied to you to keep you happy. And they lied to you to keep you happy, to think life is really great, but when it's not, and they make these predictions that are ridiculous. I mean, the Federal Reserve says, we're not going to raise rates until 2023. I don't think so, guys. I don't think so. Palladium, that one is another, more of a precious metal, has industrial use, has bounced up off of the 2,500 support zone. It's looking pretty good right now. Gold, it's bounced up a little bit. I don't know what the hell to say about this thing. This thing should be going sky high, but it's not. And it started to sort of run up a little bit in anticipation of the Bank of International Settlements conference, where paper gold was going to be sort of banned. Well, as always happens, things get watered down, they get phased in, and you don't have the immediate bite. So gold does not have that wind behind its back right now. But I'll tell you this, it could go either way. And right now the fundamentals are so strong, but they just don't look right. It just looks like gold isn't there yet. And that frustrates me, because it's been a long time since I've been predicting gold to go up. So, I get to say, oh, mea culpa a bunch of times. Mm-hmm. Okay, so silver, I actually think silver is going to go. Silver gives me a lot more hope. The reason is silver actually is in a short squeeze right now, and that it trades the paper silver trades at like 20, 26, 27. Whereas you want to buy a coin, a gold coin, silver coin, 1 ounce, you're going to pay $35 for that. You're going to pay $200 more for a gold coin than you are for paper gold. So there is some pressure, on the paper market. And the paper market is the physical and paper market will have to combine somehow. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they're going to have to. Either that or they cancel the bill. But they're not going to do that, because when someone uses paper as a collateral, that's a pretty bad collateral. Especially you're then you're then stuck with the counterparty, and the counterparty might not be good. So all right, so TIPS, which are Treasury inflation protected securities, actually show inflation. Look at them. They're skyrocketing up. These things accrete. Their principal value goes higher as inflation goes higher, as inflation expectations go higher. And this one actually protects you against the CPI, which protects you against nothing you buy. So this right here is a pretty good sign that inflation still is there, and that it's not transitory, and that it really could get out of hand. And that's the thing that I'm afraid of, that it will get out of hand. While meanwhile, the Federal Reserve is going, well, it's transitory, doesn't exist. That's the scary part, because bad things happen when inflation happens. All right, so 3-month Treasury bills. Now I want to show you again why the Fed is so out to lunch. 3-month Treasury bills are at 43 basis points, and I circled that in green. Now, what the Fed says, the federal funds rate is what the Fed charges. Okay, that's their rate that they set. They set a federal funds rate of 0 to 0.25, and I put a bracket in red. But you see, the market doesn't really care. Markets are trading higher. I mean, who other? I'll ask that question to money. Um, but 10-year bills broke down. I don't get it. I seriously don't get this. I mean, 10-year bills have gone to like, down to like, 1.29% or something like that. That is an amazing thing to me when you consider the fact that 10 years are at that low rate, and then the next one, 30 years, they've broken 2%. They're down at, 1.96 was their bottom last week. And you gotta ask yourself, and I've asked this a bunch of times, who would be so stupid as to lend money at 2% when inflation is running at like 10? Who would be so stupid and to do that in size? I mean, I can't imagine that. Oh, that's right. The U.S. government. I forgot about that. The U.S. government would be that stupid. Do you want the U.S. government actually managing your money like that, so that you lose 8% every year for your Social Security? Unbelievable. These guys need an economics class, and would someone please send them this show so they can kind of get an idea of economics? I'd appreciate it. So something I don't normally show are junk bonds or junk bonds or high yielding bonds, but I decided to now. Look at how high they've gone. They're acting as if no one has a single care of a bankruptcy in the economy, or a default or anything like that. That's unusual. That shows incredible euphoria and confidence. And these things yield like nothing. I mean, they yield like nothing. Bitcoin Cash, we're going to go on to some of the cryptos right now. Bitcoin Cash continues to work its way down. This one's going, you know. Ethereum, again, I want to emphasize that I don't express anything about the value, but this is a real entity with a real management team there, and it does something. And so at least you're not investing in nothing. If you are investing, I'm not even sure that you are in buying, their tokens or coins or whatever. I'm not sure that's an investment. But it's not a scam necessarily, because I don't think these guys are in that kind of business. So, but Litecoin is another one that's just, it's gone down 75%. It's really not going to go back up. Those people that are thinking that it's going to go way back higher again are wrong. When stuff like this happens in a market, and a bubble blows and you lose this kind of amount, 75%, it's going to take years of basing before this thing goes back up again. Maybe 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. And to be honest with you, there's a scenario here that says all these things go to next to nothing, because a lot of them don't really do anything that is valued as a utility that can't be done by somebody else at a cheaper price. So, Ripple, again, I mentioned this one because it is a real company. It does have the real management, but you're buying a token. You're not really buying shares of the company. You're buying a token. It's like buying a concert ticket to, or a bus token or something like that. And I don't know why people would speculate on that, but they are. But again, it's been way down, and it's probably going to go way down again. But this is when the market becomes mad, and people like me can't explain it. Apple, this is amazing right here. Here's another change of the market. Apple has broken out. This is a 5-year graph of Apple. This is why the Nasdaq is starting to break out. Look at this. Apple could actually go to a new high. I would have never believed it before. I thought it was breaking down, but it looks like it's breaking up. We'll see. It also could be in a still rising flag. I don't know, but it's acted awfully well the last few days. Amazon too broke up, and that's another reason why I'm sort of leaning toward the plus side on the Nasdaq right now, as much as I don't want to. But you can't make your worldview or desire be how you position yourself, because what you want is never what you're going to get. What you get is what you're going to get, and you have to be positioned for what you're going to get. And with this company, I would, this is another one where you'd have to buy high and sell higher. I just don't know that I'd want to do that. Facebook is a company I'm going to talk about in a minute here. I've got some slides. I'm just going to mention that it's gone pretty high, and that's it for this graph. But I want to mention this. Okay, this QR code thing is something I'm investigating, and something I don't really understand perfectly. But I'm going to tell you about what it is. like I put one here. This was on the box of of some headphones that I got by Dr. Dre. Okay, so I pointed my camera at it, and it showed me, it took me to like a website. That's called a static QR code. It's harmless, does nothing other than, it's just a little identifying thing. Uh, this is another thing that I think is harmless, but was blurred out anyway. Uh, this was just something, I don't remember where I actually got this. I may have got this from someplace, but it doesn't matter. I blurred myself out in it a little bit because right now I don't know how powerful QR codes are. I'm trying to find out what they're able to do, and what I'm seeing so far is not very good. Now I want to show you this series of 3 slides right here, because this happened on my Markonomics 101 page. Okay, I can't repeat it on that page because it's gone. The WhatsApp thing is gone. But right here, notice on the left, this is a page I have called Reinventing the American Dream. Now notice that it says Edit WhatsApp is circled. Okay, then you notice in the middle slide that if you punch that, you actually click on that app. And then finally on the final slide, what you'll notice is that it gives you 4 choices. And the button that gets you going is called test button, and you hit that and you see something like this. And what happens is you see something like this. We blurred it out, but this is 2 images blurred out of a scrambling or a malicious QR code. I don't know what to call it, but it keeps changing all the time, and it's like every 11 seconds, every 15 seconds. You barely notice it changing because it's all black and white and it's all kind of pixelated. It's very hard to notice. Now, let me show you something else here. Okay, so this is what comes up on my WhatsApp. Okay, it comes up as Markonomics 101 because they got Markonomics 101 from my page, which I never called it. I never called myself on WhatsApp Markonomics 101. I was always just Marko. And what you'll also notice is there's a QR code right next to it. That QR code is there. That just showed up a couple weeks ago. And it showed up a couple weeks ago, and I have just been inundated with people trying to get me to go to talk to them in WhatsApp because they have plans for me. But this just showed up, and so you can't get to me because I pretty much have I've taken care of the problem. But if you look at the next slide, where it's been, now there's a thing here that says it's like a warning. The lawyers warn that QR codes, if if you give somebody QR code, they can take your private information. Well, gee, what a warning! And you can't even really read the whole warning here. Okay, but that's a CYA if there ever was one. So that tells me Mark Zuckerberg was part of this, or his lawyers were part of this, and what a scumbag. Now the third one is if you point a regular camera on the computer version of WhatsApp, this is what you get. Open in WhatsApp, which means that you have to use your WhatsApp camera. That's what gets you, okay? Or WhatsApp on a computer with the WhatsApp camera, not the regular camera, the WhatsApp camera. That's where you get in trouble. And finally, it leads you to a place, you go to Google, you go to a place called blockchain, and blockchain has all the transactions made in a certain password or passkey or passcode. Unbelievable. I don't know if there's anything wrong with it. I don't know if they did anything wrong. I'm not accusing them of anything, but you can see that right there. You can do what I did and get to all these all these Bitcoin transactions, and there's so many of them. It's not funny. So it's a little too far. Okay, now here I'm having a little fun here with these people. The first one is a woman named Angie, or no, I should say a woman, a person who goes by the name of Angelina on the Facebook dating site. Yes, Facebook dating site. Facebook is it. Mark Zuckerberg, you coward. You just. Anyway, what you'll notice at the very end, the person calls me something idiot, and I don't think these are all necessarily Chinese girls or whatever. But I will say this: I did snap some pictures of different conversations. I've shown them to you. They are all drop dead gorgeous. Either they're agents or something. Some of them sound like women, some don't, some do not. And here's another one where one just says literally, she just met. I've met her. Okay, I've not met this person. She comes forward to me, says that she wants to go to WhatsApp immediately, And next week, I'm going to play with her, and you guys are going to get to see how our conversation goes. Because the funnest thing to do is once you know what they want, like that, is to play with them. And I'm going to be doing that next week, and you guys are going to get to see how fun that is. Because that's the only fun there is with this kind of stuff. It's really, I'm going to learn this stuff really well and find out exactly how they're doing it. Microsoft, look at that, broke out of ascending wedge. I mean, this rarely happens. What it means is exhaustion, and it means that Microsoft has probably had it. It's maybe a few points from its high, but how much higher can it go and faster can it go? NVIDIA, look at that. This one now has become the new semiconductor company for the NASDAQ. It's up to now $500 billion in market cap. And this thing was worth like, I don't know, 22 years ago or something like that. Amazing. The bank index looks like it's rolling over. What you're seeing happen in interest rates is called flattening. The 30-year is now trading at about 2%. When you look at the short end, like 40 or 50, the difference is now like 152 versus 40, 160. That's called a flattening. But a couple months ago, the 30-year was at about 2.5, and this thing was at about 0. So you had a 2.5 differential. The higher the differential typically is more stimulative to the bank sector and the economy. What you're seeing is the yield curve flattening, and flattening is not a good sign for the economy at all. Not a good sign, and it's not a good sign for banks because they borrow at the short end from the Fed. That's their wholesaler, and they lend at the longer end to corporations. Those are their retail buyers. So you're getting a bigger spread when the yield curve is steep, and a smaller spread when the yield curve is flattening. The broker-dealer index looks like it's flattening too. These guys have had an amazing year, bringing stuff out like I just can't believe. I still can't believe that DoorDash was worth $200 billion. That one just blows my mind. American Express continues to go up. The economy is really looking very healthy from some angles right now. And one of them is the financial sector in some parts and not in others. JP Morgan is not looking healthy, okay? Whereas American Express is looking healthy. So I'm not really sure, you just can't make sense of where this thing is going to go. And of course, we got Goldman Sachs. It actually did break down a little bit, but it could be just a flag. And as we know, Goldman Sachs is a very influential party running this country. Government Sachs, they call it. All right, finally, Citigroup broke down. This one looks like crap. And one of the weird things about Citigroup is that it was going up so fast. It looked like crap. Now it's coming down. And so we have things going this way, this way, this way, this way, this way, this way, and we don't know what's really happening because every government statistic is pretty much a lie. If you do not observe it, if someone you trust does not observe it, do not believe what you hear or what you see on cable news. By accident, I just happened to be flipping the channels, and I got a headache for about 3 hours. I just happened to see one of them talking about something. I went, oh. All right, so Wells Fargo was doing pretty well. This was an ailing bank, and Wells Fargo now it's actually making a rounded top, but at a lot higher level. And Discover, another credit card company. Ace, I know you don't like Discover, but he's late on his Discover payment, so he's really pissed off about that. Okay, Discover's kind of making what looks like a top. Visa's doing really well. So you look at, and the airline index is going down. So you've got the airlines and transportation not doing well. You've got here Costco's going crazy. Target we've shown you is going crazy, and then there's other ones that are coming down like CVS. It went up, way up and way down. Nike, this one's also unbelievable. A $500 billion company of tennis shoes. Now, why is it that we have such an oppressed country where tennis shoes where people can go out and buy $500 billion tennis shoes? I really wonder about that, and it's probably because of those stimulus checks that I have yet to get. I would really like to get a stimulus check, but I'm not going to, probably. All right, and neither are you. Now, this is Intel Corporation, one of the Dow 30. It's broken down. It's not doing very well. The Dow 30 is really a mixed bag right now, but they look like they're going up. Here's a good one for you, IBM. Why the old guard suddenly going back up, but it's in a little bit of a rounded top, but it's also above its trend line, so it's looking pretty good. Cisco Systems At one time, it was believed that Cisco Systems was going to be worth the first company worth $1 trillion. Not really, and probably going to be booted out of the Dow pretty soon because it's not high enough. The Dow loves companies worth $100 or more or something like that. But they'll never take Amazon. They'll never take Amazon because it's too high. Well, anyway, that was our last slide for today. And what I want to do is also tell you that we will be bringing you next week more information on the various scams. And this show, this is July 21st, is called it is called Scamvesting. The future, the financial epidemic. Scamvesting, the financial epidemic. If you would, we would love to have you as subscribers. We are having more promotions all the time, and people are learning the truth once and for all the time. Remember, we got in this situation because of the incumbents. Vote them out, and please subscribe if you would, and we'd love to see you next time. We're back. See you next time.